your capacity to focus, your willingness to make the hard decision, your ability to remain calm in chaos. It all boils down to one thing: mental toughness. The question is, how do you develop mental toughness? One way is to wait for it to be developed for you. You can't go through life without pain, tough challenges, and discomfort. And often when we have these experiences, we are forced to develop mental toughness. But this is not the only way to develop mental toughness, and in fact, it's not the best way. You want to intentionally develop it before you are faced with life's inevitable challenges. As Epictetus once said, we must discipline ourselves in the winter for the summer campaign. We must prepare beforehand for what life throws at us. But the benefits of mental toughness extend beyond just being prepared for life's challenges. Whether you're trying to study for a degree, build a business, become a professional athlete, or simply be a better father or mother, mental toughness is the skill that enables you to go the distance. So I'm going to share 3 timeless principles to help you develop this mental toughness, as well as a warning for those who want to do so. Because there are consequences to developing mental toughness. Most of them are extremely positive, but there's one that you have to watch out for, and I share that at the end of the video. So let's dive in, starting with principle number 1, which is to push yourself physically so you can master yourself mentally. There's a reason why ancient philosophers placed so much importance on training the body. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, engaged in multiple physical pursuits, from wrestling to hunting, running, and much more. Epictetus lifted weights despite having a crippled leg from his time as a slave. Plato was a wrestler, and Socrates famously said, "No man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training." The mind and the body are inseparable, which is why Seneca said, "Treat your body rigorously so that it may not be disobedient to the mind." See, physical training is hard. It requires force of will, mental mastery, mental toughness. When you train your body to push through pain and discomfort, what you're really doing is training your mind. The body is simply the vehicle by which you toughen your mind and your mentality. You develop mental toughness by showing up to train even when you don't feel like it, by running a little faster and longer, by pushing one more rep out, by going another round. When I trained for my mountain marathon a few months ago, I was pushing past this pain and boredom barrier multiple times per week. And as I sat down each day to focus on my mentally demanding creative work, I found that I was able to focus for longer and deeper as a result of this physical training. I was able to ignore distractions and procrastinate less. And it was a result of the mental toughness that I had built through these long 3-hour plus runs. I just knew that I was capable of more, even though it was a completely different type of activity. In this modern age, where movement is a lost discipline and most of us are creatures of comfort, the mental toughness that comes from physical training and physical discipline is rare. Pursue it and you put yourself in an elite class of people. The second principle is that mental toughness is a daily practice. You should always be training it. We trick ourselves into thinking that to build habits and character and skills, it requires these big leaps. But we know this isn't true. Mental toughness is built through these small, consistent actions, day in and day out. And you must be mentally tough in the small things so that you can be mentally tough in the big things. If you can't sit down for 45 minutes and focus on one task without distraction, pushing past boredom and discomfort, then how can you expect to finish ambitious projects and achieve the difficult goal that you've always wanted to achieve that requires that type of focus and mental demand and mental toughness? So one way to think about this is the always be training mindset. Throughout each day, there are countless opportunities to build mental toughness. In the morning, when your alarm goes off and you feel like hitting snooze, that's an opportunity to develop mental toughness, to wake up, to not hit snooze and start your day and do the hard thing. Or maybe you're tempted to procrastinate on your most important task. Again, it's an opportunity. You can fight that procrastination and do the work anyway, which will enable you to further develop your mental toughness. Do you take the stairs or do you take the elevator? You know which one benefits you more. Take the difficult path, even if it's a minor thing, even if it seems stupid to other people, like the stairs versus the elevator. Reject convenience and ease when doing so allows you to become tougher. Do the hard things, do them first. Continually lift your standard, progressively overload yourself. Do a little more each day. And this quote from Ryan Holiday sums this principle up. Most people don't even show up. Of the people who do, most don't really push themselves. So to show up and be disciplined about daily improvement, you are the rarest of the rare. The third principle is to have endurance. It is by endurance we conquer. Endurance is the manifestation of pure mental toughness. It's marching on when all you want to do is rest. It's working to finish your project when self-doubt has crept in and you feel like abandoning it. It's doing what you know you must do each day, even in the midst of pain and discomfort, even when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel just yet. And endurance is just as important for the person who works with their mind as it is for the athlete or the soldier. The German concept of Sitzfleisch sums it up perfectly. Literally translated, it means sitting meat or sitting flesh. But it really means much more than that. It's the ability to sit still and focus for long periods of time. The stillness and focus that's required for true, deep productivity. It's the stamina, the endurance to continue on, to see your task, to see your project through to the end. It's the willpower needed to push past boredom and restlessness and discomfort and continue doing what needs to be done. The one who has Sitzfleisch has mental toughness. Now, as we end this video, let me share a warning with you. Build mental toughness and you will likely achieve more than you ever could have imagined. But beware. The success that comes from mental toughness, in fact, any success, can turn into weakness if you're not cautious about it. There are plenty of examples of companies led by CEOs that got too comfortable as a result of their success. Kodak failed because they thought they were too big to fail. Blockbuster was the largest rental video chain at one point. They declined an offer to acquire Netflix because they thought that sticking to their brick and mortar business model was the way to go. They had massive success, they thought they were too big to fail, and look what happened. See, success feeds your ego and it clouds your judgment. When you reach a certain point of success, it becomes easy to take your foot off the gas pedal, to falsely believe that everything will continue the way it has. And by the time you realize your mistake, it's often too late. Your business has failed. You've lost momentum. Your discipline is no longer what it once was. And so you must build it back from the ground up. And that takes a long time. As Jeff Bezos says in one of his letters to shareholders, we make every day, day one. You want to adopt this day one mindset. Work every day like you're just starting out, like it's day one. Keep high your enthusiasm, your discipline, and your scrappiness. Maintain the underdog mentality. Toughen your mind, even and especially when life is going well.